for yourself.
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
little
sure.
early for it, but
On the YouTube side?
yeah, I'll put it in Discord.
Yeah, let me just grab some tea for fun.
Tea.
Tea at 3 a.m., you know, the best time.
3 a.m. tea.
Fucking best.
Why is it updating packages?
Have you managed to drive the new engines yet or not? Or are you just going code in, code out?
Pretty much the first time on the new ones. I just haven't been able to. Like I said, I was doing the LODs for the.
It should work. It should work just fine. It actually so now the car actually goes somewhere without the turbo, but the turbo comes about 1 to 2 seconds later as a huge kick.
I'm just trying to figure out if I want to. Well, I'm probably going to take a car that's different from everybody else, so that way there's a little bit of comparison, I guess you could say.
Yep, sure. Front wing comparison, the front wings don't necessarily need to be too balanced because, I mean, it's your option. You can run it or not. You can make the car understeer less by differential settings anyway, so it doesn't matter. The car actually has less porpoising, so you benefit from not having it anyway from that. The car drives better.
I don't know if the if weather is going to play a factor.
You think it's gonna rain?
I don't know.
I would recommend you put in the server like temperature to be about 20 degrees higher than it actually is, so you get about 23 degrees of temperature. That would probably be okay. On the live weather, I would recommend you doing that. It should be fairly easy. There's a multiplier on that for the temperature, I think, on a widget too. So you get the temperature approximately what it should be on a race day. You will get the tires to actually get warm properly, so they will go above 60, 70 degrees in overall, so you actually get them hot. And that also means that the engine cooling should be approximately okay, so that limits the power that you can make. Because otherwise, you can actually make you can actually run the engines pretty well because you never get them hot because the temperature is like 4 degrees there. So that means that the engines are gonna run in extremely cold because cold suits the turbo.
It is set to be offset.
Oh, is it? It was not there yesterday.
When I was in there a little bit ago, I popped it in. I only did 10C because I didn't want to try and upset the code too much because when you put values in there, it can sometimes have a runaway effect.
Oh yeah. It's basically it's nighttime there, of course, and it's winter, so the temperature is going to be pretty, low, of course, because of that. Makes sense?
Makes sense.
Because it's after all, I mean, it's like 2 a.m. on Germany right now, so, and it's it's still winter. It's not snow there. There's probably not much snow there anymore. But in here there's snow at least, where I live.
With the compound mixes, when it's soft hard, that's soft front and hard rear.
It's actually the first text is what side it is, so left side and right side.
That's right.
So basically HS is like hard on the left and soft on the right.
So for Hockenheim, a hard compound on the left side might be better. Although it's pretty long, I don't know. Maybe super soft will last.
I think their softs would probably. It's not super soft. It's soft, but it's soft. So it's basically soft on both sides. It's meant to denote the fixture. So basically, you can change tires per corner of the car. So that means you can have like 3 soft tires and then have like 1 hard tire for the corner of the car that takes the most hit. And that's it. You can actually do it like that as well if you want to experiment with it.
Wow, full brake duct blanking.
Yeah. You probably want to run with that. I think it was Jerry that was running, or someone else was running yesterday, and mentioned that they the crew chief was basically complaining about when Turbo was having 3 and brake cooling, it complained them getting too hot. So forced him to work for Turbo, and 3 is for atmospheric car because it's about 15 kilometers an hour slower. So that means the brakes don't get as hot because the car goes slower.
You actually have degrees on here
Degrees.
of wing. Forgot
Oh,
about
is it
that.
degrees or what it is? I don't know. Is it the degrees or not?
The clicks, yeah, they go by degree. At least that's what it's listed as. And it's a lot of weight towards the back.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, there's the degree. Yeah, yeah. 2 degrees.
Actually, before we do that, we were calling these H patterns, right?
What? H patterns?
Yeah.
Yep. It's H pattern from the time. I think I was actually talking with people and they mentioned that I probably should make the gear shift for the H shifter to be even faster. So probably cut the time to about half what it is currently. Because people can shift faster than that by lifting, actually.
Wow, I am inside the front of this thing.
Yeah. Boost gauge should be on all cars now, so you can see the boost level you use from that. So you don't have to look at the value you have anymore. So it should tell you what boost level you run.
Why is there a pit road speed limit?
I don't know. I complained about it like a week ago.
Yeah, well, I turned it off, so it shouldn't be here.
You better turn it off, man.
I did.
The version of the workshop doesn't have that.
It's dictated by the multiplayer file, or the.
Yeah. You need to go there, restart the server, and do that.
I'm not gonna restart the server now.
Okay, then just tell everybody the car doesn't have pit limiter, by the way. So you might want to tell that to people to actually, you know, not go fast on the pits.
Uh-huh.
You probably want to tell that. Because in 1982 there was no pit speed limit and there was no pit speed limiters on the cars either. Because who would need that? You just drift your way out of the pit box and go fast. Have you seen that in the pictures from the era?
I watched the whole season review.
Yeah, exactly. You saw like them going from the pits, like just slide in the car and just zoop. Done. Oh yes, good to see the cars over here. Nice sparks from them when they go over the bumps as well.
Appropriate.
It's actually the skirt that actually hits the ground, that's why it actually is like that.
Like a big go-kart.
Like a big old go-kart.
Why can't I see my nose?
On the car?
Yeah.
I think I might have forgotten to put that in the cockpit in the loads.
Oh, jeez.
It was like that in the mod. I remember seeing that. It's not a problem on most cars, I think.
Bumpy as fuck in the arena section.
Oh yeah, you can't see your front. Of course, you can't brake enough, right? You don't know where your nose is actually. Yeah, I will fix it on the next one, of course. Just mark it up and I will fix it. It's not a big deal to put the nose cone into there. Because the nose cone is a separate part that can get off the cars, of course.
Of course.
Yep. Well, I can see it's gonna be a wild day. I can see Gutierrez drifting there with the car. It's gonna be a wild day, especially if it rains.
Get used to this shifting. Yeah, it probably could be a little bit faster.
Yep.
Just a little bit. Maybe like a tenth to a quarter second faster.
It's currently, I think it's 1.2 seconds, so I think 1.10 seconds would be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that for the next pack. Actually, I'm gonna do it now. How much you want?
Just don't update it in the workshop.
Yeah, but I'm gonna just put it to the mod depth and I'm gonna test it. Thankfully, I took out all the gearbox files, so now it's only in the physics file itself. Oh yeah, somebody's running the Alfa Romeo engine. I know it from the Brabham because I actually gave Brabham the Alfa Romeo style of RPM counter, so that's why I know they are running the Alfa engine, even if it sounds like a Cosworth. Are you struggling with the direct drive and getting too much spin on yourself? Hi Giles, hi Giles.
Hello, I'm rigging up there.
Yeah, I decided to stay away. It's over 3 a.m. in my country. It's almost half 4 a.m. You know, decided to stay awake myself to watch this. Of course, not to watch what I've been doing.
Very Aryan crewmates.
Yeah.
No, this guy's got like a weird, funky finger. It's so weird to look at.
Yeah.
Over on the right-hand side, he's just standing there, like holding his finger up to you, like, you want to sniff?
On the pitbox.
Yeah.
It's actually a nice inheritance from the old mod. What do you like about those guys? You don't have to hunt for pitbox. You know it's your guys. You just have to see. Those are actually skinnable. You can actually. I think it's an extra. It's a pit crew skin, so you can actually change that for the cars if you want. There should be a template for that when Varus manages to do it. So you can have your own pit crew skin.
Yeah.
But I decided to add it in. It enhances the thing. Hi, Brian.
Hola!
Hi.
Yeah.
If you have anything to ask about the cars, just ask me. I know most of it. I made it with Ben. I made most of the 3D asset work. Ben did the physics and I also tweaked them myself.
How do you make it go faster? How do you make me a better driver?
Go to the option where it says Brian. Hold Alt.
If you want to go fast with this car, make sure you just keep on accelerating instead of slowing down because it's a ground effect car. It's like if you've ever driven the 79 cars, it's similar, but the effect is much stronger. So you can basically push the car to the ground with speed. And you have to take stupid risks to go fast. But you can do it. It feels sketchy. Like you go into a corner, you expect you're never gonna grip on there, but you go that, let's say, 25 kilometers faster, and you're gonna be just gripping on the corner, and you'll be like, whoa, what is this? Why this car grips like this? But it just does it.
I can
It's
do
scary.
stupid. I can do stupid.
Yeah. You need to have that bonsai mentality, you know, or kamikaze mentality for driving the car. Works pretty well with it.
I have a question.
Yes.
The fuel, how does that work? It's just like regular when you pit, you fuel, or
No fuel. You do need to fuel at the start of the race. The NA car, probably the Cosworth, it's about probably 185 liters on the whole race. The Alfa Romeo V12 is about 205 liters. The Matra V12 it's about 225, and the turbos eat anywhere from 240 to 260 liters of fuel for the whole race.
so you just fill your gas tank up at the beginning and you go for it.
Yeah, exactly. You feel it. Yeah, no. In these days, the Brabham did refueling in 1982, but nobody else did. In 1983, they did refueling. So I've decided that it would only really be a turbo car advantage, and it would unbalance the turbo car more than the NA car. So I decided not to allow the refueling. I could technically allow it again, but I would have to make sure that it's extremely slow, so people would start using that to gain time, because it's faster than just putting the fuel at the start.
Okay.
Because you can technically, so basically you could run soft tires and then you could run half fuel and then you could basically refill the car. In Brabham's case, you could actually refill the car in about 13 seconds. So change car, charge and refill the car and get out in 13 seconds. So it would be
Oh.
crazy fast to do it.
Okay, thank you.
When most of the teams I've been observing, I was observing an Alfa Romeo pit stop. The Brabham pit stop guys would be the fastest. They would do it in like 13 seconds tires and all. The Alfa Romeo guys, because they didn't know that they were gonna have a pit stop, they basically took about 33 seconds to change the tires. So changing the tires is gonna take about 30 seconds minimum, at least.
Okay, yeah,
you-
I noticed that.
Yeah, I was talking with Ross and they suggested me to do that. I know that people could do it faster, but many didn't train for it at that point, so... And I've been watching the 83 season myself, and many of the people actually have about 20-second pit stop still as well at that time, so... I think 30 seconds is okay. It could be faster. Maybe in a historic edition I would allow Brabham to have faster pit crew or something like that.
What's the difference between the bias and the radial tires? I know radial tires are much better, but is there a difference, weight or something?
It should be on the overlay. So basically, the bias tire has an static grip. So as long as you don't slide the tire has more grip. That has an S grip when you don't slide the car, but when you slide the car on the bias tire, it has more grip. The Michelin has more outright grip, but if you slide the Michelin, it tends to go away pretty quickly. It drives like a modern tire, basically. And the bias ply tire is more like an old tire that you can drift around and just throw it around. Of course you get more tire wear out of it, but it's a little bit more easier because the transition between slide and not sliding is easier on the Goodyear than on the Michelin. So it all depends on your driving style. If you like the more modern tires, but then you have to be more careful if you slide it. These cars do benefit from sliding a little bit because you can keep the speed up. So that's why it might be beneficial to do it.
And generally, the turbo cars are faster than normally aspirated, or is there a weight difference? I see you got V12s. I see you got inline 4s. I see you got V8s. Is it all weight and
mostly it's sounds. The upgrades on the car determine what kind of an engine you have. But the sounds are different. So there's 11 sounds. Basically, there's a list on it. I think in this channel somewhere.
There's a horsepower difference too, and fuel consumption difference. I thought the weight was different.
The weight is actually same on both cars because the minimum weight limit was the same. It was 580 kilograms for the season, and MA and Turbo could meet it. The only difference is going to be at the start of the race with the amount of fuel you put in, because of course the Cosworth MA is only going to need 185 liters of fuel, and Turbo car needs 240 to 260, so it's going to drive like absolute garbage at the start of the race, even in here. But when you burn off that fuel, the car is going to get faster. The turbo car is probably going to be about a second or two faster than Apple over here, because it's a turbo track. It's on straights, of course, so if the car goes 15 kilometers faster than the other one, of course it's going to be faster. I mean, makes sense. But the turbo car has worse chassis and aerodynamics, so that means the turbo car actually doesn't turn as well, so you can harry the turbo car in more twisty tracks pretty easily. But then you're going to be having trouble passing because you have about 100 horsepower less with the Cosworth compared to that. But yeah, so basically it should be described on the upgrades of the car. If you go to check the upgrades on the customize, when you check the cars when you're in the server, you can read up about the upgrades of the car, and that should explain everything of what the engines are. It's a long litany of text, so it's a lot to read, but it should explain everything. But if you have any questions, I can explain in detail, of course, if required. So turbo cars, on average on this track, the turbo car is about 15 kilometers an hour faster, but it's gonna eat about 25% more fuel. So on qualifying, you have either 650 horsepower for the straight 4 or 630 horsepower for the V6, as in qualifying. The Matra V12 is going to have 575 horsepower, the Alfa Romeo has 560, and the Cosworth has 525. But the Cosworth does have more torque by a considerable margin, so it's actually only a couple kilometers slower than the... I think it's like 5 to 6 kilometers slower than the Matra qualifying engine. So if the Matra goes about, I think, 296 kilometers an hour, so almost 180. The Cosworth probably goes about 280, 291 probably would be closer to that, or 89, depends on the wind setup. And the Alfa Romeo is something between that, on the middle point. The turbo car with qualifying, I think it can probably, with the current setup, can probably hit 350 to 320 kilometers an hour with the straight 4. V6 is going to be a couple kilometers slower than that, and also the V6 requires more engine cooling because it's going to be running hotter because it of course has more utilities on it, so you have to use more radiator compared to the straight 4, but the straight 4 has like 2 seconds of turbo lag. So you gotta be faster on straights, but you have to deal with the turbo lag. When a V6 has less than turbo lag. So it's easier to drive than the other one, but it also is less fuel efficient because the V6 has one boost level and lower horsepower compared to the straight 4 in same amount of fuel. So basically, both the engines use same amount of fuel, but the V6 uses about, it has about 25 horsepower less per boost level. So it's going to be a little bit slower.
And a question, another question. The turbo cars, if you feel like the tank up, you shouldn't be able to pit. You can't pit, but I'm doing my calculations and it says that I'm going to have to pit for fuel. Do you think I'm running the turbo too high, or?
What boost level you're running? I might have watched the calculations on the fuel again. They should have been okay, but I gotta watch them. What boost level? If is the 6 level boost that you're running?
Yeah. I think
6
also
is not supposed to make the race. I think 5 should probably make the race in total, or 4. Depends. I haven't tested. Depends on the track. So you can probably use 6 on the straights and then turn it down for like 5 or 4 for the other straights.
Okay.
Like
okay.
So basically manage the feel.
Oh, I see. I'll leave it at 4. Keep it safe.
You can use the passing, but of course the engine life might be negatively affected by the level 6 boost. It's supposed to only be used on emergencies or just empty in the field.
Okay, I see. So I'll lower the boost, yeah, because I was thinking of just using it at 6, but yeah, that makes more sense now.
Yeah. As in this track is a turbo track, so that means you're fuel limited as well as reliability limited, so you might blow the engine.
Just meet you, Brian.
Okay.
Off the track.
But you should be able to use it pretty well. Anyway, to like, if you need to pass someone, just put it to 6 and just use it for that, and then drop it to like 5, and that's it. But of course, you have to manage the fuel, of course. Probably fill it to like 260 liters, and then just use the whole fuel.
Okay, because I was at number 6, testing at number 6, and it was saying that I would need a total of 362 liters for the whole race, which is not enough for the whole race at boost 6. So yeah.
How much boost 5 is asking, by the way? You might calculate that for me. I might have screwed up. The turbo engine is a little bit experimental of fuel consumption.
Remember, it is on 2x, so there's that extra little bit there.
Yeah.
I mean, it should sort of work out because it is roughly half of what the real race would have been.
Oh yeah. If the race is, so basically there's 2x fuel consumption. So if it's the whole, yeah, that makes sense. 350 liters, probably the entire race, the half distance. So you basically need to calculate for about 21 laps or 24 laps or something like that. Let me check how much you need to calculate the fuel for.
Damn right-hander into the arena section is a pain in the ass.
It's bumpy on the middle
Very
of it.
bumpy.
Let me just check how many laps the track had so I can give it to you.
Okay.
Since I'm sitting here. Of course, you need to calculate the formation lap and then starting 45 laps. So that means the circuit is going to be about 22-23 laps. I would calculate the fuel for 24 laps. so you have a little bit extra on the formation lap and all the shenanigans.
Yeah, to keep it safe.
Yeah, keep it safe. I usually keep it like that myself. And if you want to calculate the fuel, drive a lap around with the boost level that you drive like the lap around with boost level 5, 1 lap with the car, then come back to the pits and then calculate, put the car to full fuel and calculate it from that. I usually do it like that, and it works pretty well.
Okay, I'll do that now.
Yeah. Just have a normal lap, just normally how you would use it. Just use boost level 5 and just fill the tank with the full fuel. Because if you fill it with full fuel, it's gonna use the most fuel. So you know always if you calculate it from the top fuel, you're gonna have extra fuel in the end of it. Because the car will get lighter and it will use less fuel. Of course, I think there was a tiny pedal UI or something like that that you can use to calculate the fuel as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was when I was trying it with the last engines, I think it was like 10 liters a lap. So that means if it's going to be with boost level 6, so I think if I didn't fudge up the fuel consumption too badly, that means that the fuel consumption would be about 240, 260 liters per race. Yeah, I think it would be. I can swear to myself I'm never going to convert a mod again because if it's going to take another 16 months, I will not do it. It's taken that long. I literally thought it was going to be like a couple months, like 6 months conversion job that's just done, but it was like, nah, I just have to redo everything.
You said there's a turbo selector. Is it an in car selection, or is there an option here on the setup pages somewhere?
It's a freely adjustable boost level in the cockpit as well. You can adjust it on the setup and in the cockpit.
Which page is it on the setup? I'm having.
I think it is in the first page where you have the radiators and all that stuff. It's
Powertrain?
enabled with powertrain. Yeah, powertrain. It should be enabled with like horsepower and the name of the boost, like race max, or race extreme, or race overtake.
Boost mapping. I got it. Yep. Thank you.
Boost mapping. Yeah, boost mapping. It reads on the horsepower what horsepower that boost level has, so you can easily know what it is. And also, I would like to remind everybody that there's a push-to-pass qualifying engine for the qualifying for all cars, for all engines. That should give you extra boost. So basically, you can press the push-to-pass button once during practice or qualifying, and that will enable the push-to-pass qualifying engine for the rest of the time you're driving that car. So that will, for example, with the turbo, it's gonna give you extra 50 horsepower. So the car is gonna go even faster.
Yeah.
It's to simulate the qualifying engines, because in these days, you know, people were just taking a qualifying engine and after that throwing it into a bin. Didn't matter, you know. Nowadays they use engines and they're like, oh, we need to like use 3 engines per year, and these guys we're gonna use like 5 engines per week, you know. Just do that. And also the qualifying tires, they are pretty fragile, but they are about 2 to 5 seconds faster. Super sticky, don't last more than a couple laps. It seems somebody is driving the Alpha.
It's a temporary boost. Is there a push to pass also, or are they the same?
The push to pass is a separate button. You need to bind it on, and you just need to press it once when you come from the pits. You need to press it once, and then it will work. It was made originally like that because the boost level management was not in the game before.
Yeah, I got 2 things here. It's increment, boost, decrement,
Decrement, yes.
decrement, boost, and then there's an increment push to pass mapping. Increment and decrement.
In the game, yeah, but not in the mod.
Yep. It's just activate push to pass and that's it. If they have broken a game that you can abuse the boost to bash button like that, I'm gonna be mad to 397 myself.
Come on.
Like I'm expecting it to be able to be abused like that. I heard there was a bug earlier about that, like just a while ago. That I think they fixed it. That you could abuse the temporary boost map for push to pass and use it infinitely. I mean, it sounds literally what will happen. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, it's so basically you need to bind the put button to activate push to pass. You push it once, and then it will stay for the rest of your driving session or with the car until you go back to pits and exit the track.
Cool, thank you.
Yep, that should give you more horsepower. But keep in mind, you might need more engine cooling when you do that. Might need more, because of course it's a qualifying engine and more horsepower, so that means more cooling.
Like the classic Nissan Group C.
Yep, exactly. The tires are labeled with a letter on them as well, so you can see conveniently who is using what tire if the markings decide to work properly. So you can see who is using qualifiers and who is not. So in the broadcast we can see that what tire people are using. That's why the letter is on the tire.
Yeah, so you know what? I tried Boost 5, and it's saying I'm needing, for final stint, I'm going to need a total of for a tank, I'm going to need 344 liters. So I think 3 or 4 boosts might be even better, because I won't make it on Boost 5.
How much fuel did you use per lap, by the way, when you went around that?
It is 10.409 liters.
You're gonna actually you can go about 26 laps with the full fuel. Your calculation is fudged itself.
Okay.
Because it's so basically you have the per lap fuel and it's 10 liters, so that means on that boost level you can make 10 times 26. You can make 26 laps. So you can keep it at boost 5 and you will make 26 laps. So you will make the whole race basically, because the race is about 24 laps.
Okay, all right, sounds good. I was getting scared for a little bit there.
Yeah, I was also getting scared. Did I break the calculation myself?
I would map a button.
Map a button for the push to pass?
For the boost.
For the boost.
Oh yeah, you can decrement and increment boost. You can adjust it in the cockpit.
Oh, the turbo boost just in general, yeah.
Yep, you can adjust it by that. Oh, you took the Brabham yourself. Do you have the BMW or the MA car for the Brabham?
Who's that at?
Oh yeah, MA car, yes. With Patrace.
How many league up to now are using your mod?
Probably 60 people in total have been subscribed to the mod at this point.
Okay,
There's
so
still
it's
some
good.
3D asset things that I need to fix and other stuff. I think.
So a few other league.
No other leagues, just you guys, because I need to test the mod for more. I plan to release it in like half a year or no. When the league is over, I plan to release it on public.
So good. MNRL, we're gonna be 10, 12, maybe 15. So
Yep.
It's a good start.
Yep, and I plan to put an Euro League, and I know Euro people probably like this mod more as well, because it's a Euro series after all. There was some plans about that, but I haven't heard much of it yet. It's not decided. It's in the higher hand, so to say, what's going to happen with that. So I can't say anything about that. Ross can't say anything if he knows, but I can't.
Yeah. I mean, it's your league to run, man. It's the CMS server will be available, so you can use it at your whim.
Yeah, it's just if you the day you need to probably decide the day for that. Okay, most of the days. Okay. If you can do the advertising for the league, that would be fine. I can run it otherwise, just fine. Okay.
Yeah.
You wish it?
Different things happened at the same time.
Oh.
Damn, a 152. He must be running a turbo.
I can actually lap 152s with the MA myself.
There's a 148, so a full-blown turbo with quali tire on push to pass will do that.
With nitrous.
I think a push to pass quali turbo with quali tires will probably do 148s. I think.
That's what's on the server.
Yep. Yeah, that would do. Because I was lapping with the boost 6 and soft tires, I was lapping 151 once myself, and the lap was quite sloppy, so I'm sure I could have taken up half a second from that, and the track wasn't even rubberized. Now the track is starting to be a little bit rubberized, so it's gonna be even faster, probably by a couple of seconds.
In Discord, it says it's 60-minute race. Yes? No.
Yes. The 2 test races are just going to be set at 60, and then the remaining ones for the season are going to be lap based.
Are you sure that people can actually make their race with 60 minutes? Are you? Are you 100% certain about that?
No, you can't, because 3,600 seconds divided by 115 equals 31.3, so 32 laps, 33 laps, 34 laps, 34 laps times, I'm running 4.7 liters, it's 159.8. So that's 160 liters. 60 liters over the fuel tank.
Yeah. The real race lasted 1 hour and 27 minutes. So if you can, Ross, you probably should change the race from being with time-based. Put it just like half the laps and that's it. Because that will ease it up. Because if you put it time-based, you have to put the time same. So basically you would have to put about 45 minutes for the time of the race. If you want to keep it similar. The laps is better because you can predict the fuel consumption way better. Because these were after all lapped races. So if you can change it, I would recommend you change that in a server thing and just change it if you can. Because I think you can change it on the server UI.
You guys are talking some pretty smacky stuff right now. I'd have to restart the server.
Yeah, but you have to. People want to make the race because if you make it 60 minutes, the entire race in 1982 lasted about 90 minutes. So that means if you have double the fuel consumption, nobody's gonna make the race because you actually are using about
there
3
were
times
ones that
the
were
fuel.
longer than that.
Yeah, but this race is specifically because it's 300 kilometers. It would actually be in simulation. It would be 450 kilometers in simulation because everything's twice as long.
But right now, if we can't refuel, we're not doing it.
Yeah, we can't refuel.
Sorry?
Because we don't have to fuel, because if we're gonna do 33 laps, that means the turbo is going to eat 320 liters. If it's 32 laps, because it's 10 liters per lap.
It's too long right now.
You guys
it's too long.
5 minutes before it starts to say these things.
Yeah, well,
I was not aware. I was telling it was probably better to run it with laps instead of time, because I was expecting it to take longer than. I was like 60 minutes. I was like, perhaps it was 2 hours, but no, it's actually under 90 minutes the whole race.
So we're all not gonna make it unless we put boost 1. We all race with boost 1.
Yeah.
No,
I think the MAs are just going to probably make it if you put the full tank into it. So you have to put the race to be about 22 laps.
34 laps times 4.7 is 159, 160 liters.
Yeah, but the turbo cars won't make it. They have to turn down the boost
We're not
considerably.
gonna make it. It's 100 liter, right?
It's 10
No,
liters
it's
per
more
lap.
than 100 liters.
Way more.
Way more. Way
Oh,
more.
yeah, sorry. Oh yeah, so we can make it. Sorry, I apologize.
But the
Freaking
turbo is
me
going
out.
to. But it's 10 liters per lap for turbo. The turbo is not gonna make it unless you turn it down extremely.
Yeah,
If
we're
it-
not. Yeah, I don't think I'm just not race until I run out of gas, like the real guys did.
A
Yeah.
lot of them did. Monaco is great for that. I think half the field ran out of fuel in the last lap.
Yeah. I would recommend putting it to like if you're gonna change the tin, I would recommend putting like 22 laps or 23. That's half distance, and that will be nobody will have fuel issues.
So about 45 minutes.
Yeah,
that
about 45 minutes or 22 laps. 22 laps is probably okay because it's half distance. Laps is better because everything in the mod is calculated with the laps and time scale. So
How come every time I come out of the pit road, I get a track cut?
Because you're too
No.
far to the left.
yeah,
too
it's
far,
been
yeah.
just ignore it.
If you come out right after the little rumble strip, if you put two wheels in the grass on the right side and you drive with two wheels on the grass, you won't get.
So I
wanted to-
won't get the cut track if I cut the track.
Yes.
Exactly. I
I'm on
wanted.
it.
Okay, I wanted to check it out with the software I have, but I didn't have the time.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Which software?
WAI editor.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for that, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, 22 laps.
But at
That
least,
should be perfect.
but at least the 100 kilometers limit is removed. I'm happy.
Yep.
It was supposed to have been removed. It was removed. I don't know why it's back to that now.
Yesterday it was.
It was what? Not there?
Yeah, it's actually made worse because these cars don't have they don't have the thing.
Yeah, a pit road speed limiter.
Yep, they don't. That's kind of a problem. Kind of a problem.
The push to pass, is that just for one lap or is that for a whole stint?
A whole stint.
Activate- Yeah, it activates your qualifying engine.
So once you got that puppy, you've got it. You can't do anything else about it.
You can't remove it, yes, unless you crash the car and go back to pits, then you can remove it. So it can't even be disabled. Because if you had the qualifying engine, how are you going to disable it? You have to change the engine.
All right, I'm gonna back it out and set the laps.
Yep, 22 is probably okay. It's half distance.
Guys, if you have
Advise when
setups,
you
go ahead and make sure that they're saved as I go ahead and do this.
Yep,
Yeah.
same setups.
So we might as well get out of it.
No need.
What do you mean, no need?
Oh, you need to restart the whole server.
Yeah. So it's better to get out
Yep.
to
Because of
prevent
it.
to prevent R factor for blowing a bubble.
Oh yeah, R factor 2 being R factor 2. Yes.
Agree. and Brett. You guys saving your setup? What's going on here?
Did it?
Okay.
Not that I have one.
Yeah, it's true. It's under the multiplayer JSON, right? That's where.
Yeah, it should be there, I think.
Pit road speed limits.
Put
Lane
it to 400, and
What the
that's it.
hell? Well, 0 is supposed to disable it, which is what I had set it to, and for whatever reason.
Put it to 400, and that's it. The 400 is for the track itself. You're never gonna reach 400.
I don't know.
400 is going to be okay.
It was at 400.
Yeah, the original track is at 400, so you probably want to put it at 400. It's gonna be much faster than anyone can ever reach.
Sounds like a challenge.
Which ones was the BMW?
It's either the. Let me actually fetch them up. You want me to? Can you watch the Discord if I just pin them into the channel?
I can't see them. I was just trying to figure out what team it is. No big deal.
It's either
Parmalat.
Brabham. It's either Brabham, Parmalat Racing Team, ATS, Team ATS, or Arrows Racing Team.
Bramham. Got it.
Brabham, ATS, or Arrows. Any of those.
Parmalat ATS Arrow.
Yep, Team ATS or Arrows Racing Team. The teams will be named like that in the tin. You need any other engines. The Heart, of course, is over there. Then it's Renault, then it's Ferrari, then it's Honda, then it's TAC Porsche, and then it's Alfa Romeo V8, of course, for the turbo.
But and at the top right, they have to choose the model that has the turbo car.
Yeah, turbo car, exactly. So if you're gonna be picking a turbo,
because there's also a model of cars that has only the aspirated engine.
Yeah, and those will have different sounds based on what team you have. It should be in the league discussion channel if you scroll down a little bit up. I listed all the teams and their names. The names of the teams are in the brackets, and the team, what we know it as is basically like so you can read it from there.
I'm not seeing a Bramham team in here.
Parmalat.
Parmalat Racing Team.
Got it.
Yes.
Who's LBT team?
It's LBT March. It's Emilio de Villota's team. He never qualified the car though. He always missed the pre-qualifying. He was like a privateer that wanted to get into the race, but he was not able to get it into the race because he was too slow.
So it's March.
Yep. It has hard straight 4 engine or the Cosworth V8 Ford if it's naturally aspirated.
Alright guys, we're going to do the driver brief real quick. I know this is new for MNRL, and I know there are not many of us, so this will be brief. Obviously, our Emperor of Finland here, who has developed the mod, is on hand to go through some of the testing, so thank you, Risto, for doing that. Fortunately, Ben's not here. I was hoping he'd be able to show up. Staying up late and drinking his tea. As he mentioned, the car models are the same, except they're not in terms of the engines. That will adjust the physics for them as he went through before. So naturally aspirated versus turbos, that's going to be the main difference, with turbos being faster but more temperamental with their longevity and their fuel consumption. So you have a chance of blowing up or running out more so than the other cars. And there are some different horsepower variations there, as are described in the files in the upgrades. So pay attention to those if you're interested. The sounds will also change, as you mentioned. Tires, you have the radial or the bias ply. Bias ply slide around a bit more, give you a little bit more freedom to move the back end about, and they tend to wear just a little bit more. But there is a graphical option if you want to change the brand on there. It's just graphics, that doesn't actually do anything to the physics. So
on some cars.
What do you mean for some cars?
Not all cars have that. Only like.
I thought you said some of them do fit. Okay, gotcha. So if you have that option, it's a graphical thing. Same with the front wing. There is an option with some of the front wings where they do or don't have. I think it was the duck or there were flaps. What was it on there? That was
double wings don't do anything basically. extra.
Okay. So it's either just look for the option whether it's on or off. The rest of the variations are just graphical adjustments there. But without the front, less porpoising, less drag, but also less downforce to give you grip in the corner, which at Hockenheim, may or may not need. It's up to you. We've got a big long schedule ahead of us. We're going to have a test race next week at Jacarapagua. I butchered that.
Jacarapagua.
And that one is going to be a bit more tuned to the naturally aspirated, which you are allowed to change engines as much as you want, whenever you want, throughout the season. But whatever you qualify with, that is what you got to race with. So keep that in mind. Event schedule has been updated for MNRL. We're starting a little bit later, hoping to get more West Coast people in. I think that just needs to propagate through some of the channels. Obviously, being test races, we're not getting as much notification here, but that's going to apply to the World Sports Car Championship as well. So it's a universal change. We're going to be starting doing the brief at 8:55 and getting into qualifying at 9. I know we're just a couple minutes late here, but we'll get it moving. We'll do a 20-minute quali, and then we probably won't have to do it this time, but there would normally be a pit box check, and then warm up for probably truncated down a little bit, but a maximum of 10 minutes. And then we'll go to the race, which for this season has a standing formation. So we'll do a formation, recon lap, come back around in your starting spot, and off you go. Damage is 50%. So even though the cars are tougher than normal, it's more forgiving, they can still break very easily. So don't chuck it into a wall unless you don't want it to break. Crash recovery is off, so if you flip over, land upside down, you gotta Control-Alt-Delete, pull your internet cable to come back in. Driving views open. Aids, auto clutch is allowed, and AM class drivers can use medium ABS or traction control. If you're a pro driver and you use those aids, you will be docked for positions. So keep that in mind, as we're using the old school point system, so positions are super critical for points. There are not many to go around. Tires are 1x, but fuel and mechanical failure / time scale, all those are at 2x. So twice as fast. So some of the shadows will lengthen, all that kind of fun stuff. Weather is live. We have some rain coming into the area, so that might spice things up towards the end of this. It'll be a little bit shorter now that we moved it from 60 minutes to 22 laps, but not too much shorter. Okay, so arrive and drive. So obviously you guys know the deal. Pro and AM classes, fill your boots with whatever you want, as Matthew would say. The point system is 9, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a half point for everyone who finishes 50% or more of the race. No points today. It's just a test race. We're giving some feedback to Risto so that way he can make any adjustments as needed. I'm going to be running the naturally aspirated, so I'm sure you all kick my ass, but stay on Discord so that way we can chat and everything. We're going to be pretty informal tonight, so I'm not too worried about talking during the race. I mean, be respectful, but I mean there aren't many of us for this one. But typically it would be no talking during Q or race. Don't be abusive. You guys are regulars, so no concerns there. And custom skins, I will be getting the templates soon, so those will be loaded, and we'll have those probably for the next race. Definitely at least in preparation for the first round, but there are a lot of really good liveries that Risto and Vasilis has been able to put in here, so those are all up for grabs. If you gain position, obviously give it back. Might be judged fairly. If you don't give it back, you'll be penalized harder. Any penalties given out through R Factor 2, you got to serve. I'll be racing with you guys, so I can't do anything to clear it. Do an IR if you need to. It's a test race, so I hope there aren't going to be any problems. One point that George wanted to make sure it was in all of these was don't cross the solid blend lines for pit road. Those are sacred. Treat them like a wall. Respect qualifying hot laps when you can. You guys are good on that. Don't press escape unless you want to end your race. Orange zones are designated portions of the track, usually sector 1. For this one, it will be after the first chicane. So as you round to the left there, that little left jog, that is where up to there. Blue flag, you're not allowed to compete with, but you know, you don't have to yield the position. You guys know all this. Are there any questions?
Did you say it's a standing start?
It is.
Cool.
Kind of a double standing since it's you get the recon in there, and then
Just to make sure, for the guys who I didn't hear anybody talking about this, but so if you change your tires, the first one is soft hard, so that means that the lefts are soft, the rights are hard.
Yes.
Then the following one is hard soft. It's the left are hard, the right are soft, and then it's full hard all around.
Yes.
Yep.
You got it.
Yes. So you can mix them by tire, so you can have any kind of mix of soft and hard tires you want. It was made like that so you can actually make tactics on for example on Dijon, you could have the other side of the car to be hard and other side to be soft. That's a tactic that was used, for example, by KK. So you can basically use like Jaguar Pakua, take the hard tire on the tire that's gonna take more damage in that side of the track and the other one. You can actually save a tire stop with that and be faster still.
You have restarted the server, right?
Yep, everything is up.
Yeah, so everybody can come back in.
Yep. I'll actually be advancing to qualifying.
You're already in, Joe. Where you
Yep.
at?
Because I see only 4 people. It says 4 of 4.
Well, I'm one of them. Come on
Yep.
in.
I'm in.
I would also like to remind you that the qualifying tires are super fragile, so when you're going on the out lap to try to get them warm up, be really careful because they might not allow you to go that fast and people behind you might be going extremely fast, and because it's a qualifying tire, you need to be extra careful because those guys can't lift, they can't stop if they're in the lap because those tires are going to only last like a lap or two, so be really mindful of where you position your car when you warm up your tires for the quali lap. Because guys are going to be going real fast, especially with turbos. Those guys might go 25 kilometers faster than you will. So, mindful of that, of course. Because qualifying in these days, extremely dangerous. Killed drivers like Gilles Villeneuve, for example. Very famous example of what happened. So be mindful of that. It's dangerous. The qualifying is dangerous with qualifying tires and engines. That I would like to remind myself.
I'm hopping in now, by the way, guys.
Yep.
All right, good luck on qualifying. Make notes of any things that you need.
Yeah, I have a quick question, really quick.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm already forgetting.
It's too quick.
Oh yeah, temporary boost qualification. Is that correct to say?
Yeah, you
push
hit
to
it,
pass.
and push to pass, and then it gives you the boosty engine.
Okay, I'll find it later. Push to pass. It's somewhere around here.
It's in the same list of where the boost things are on there as well. It's in the bottom of the list on the boost levels.
Okay.
Well, I apologize right now. I've made about 3 laps on this track with this car, so and two of them were successful.
Yeah. Ross, you might wanna, if you have time, you might want to put the broadcast back into the server
Yeah,
again.
I'm already doing it.
Good idea. I want to see it myself as well. Yeah. But yeah, the qualifying is going to be really super fine because those cars are going to be really fast compared to how they are in race form.
quality switching?
Yep, there's actually quality tires as well. They are in the left side of
Yeah.
the tire stack.
When is the quality switching?
And it's already switched.
I still have 159 minutes.
I don't know what to say. Try and back out?
Yep. Hi, Kirby.
I thought the speed limit was taken away.
It was supposed to be. I don't understand that. I'll have to ask the guys what the hell's going on there.
How many are we?
7 currently.
Mr. Gutierrez.
Was it the turbo car with you, Gutierrez?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you use the turbo car to get the pole position like that?
Of course you did.
Yep.
I thought it was supercharged. Oh, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, the turbo car.
Supercharged.
Ferrari was actually thinking about supercharging their car in 1981, but they decided to use turbochargers instead.
While I was seeing only 4 cars and the timer was still at 1:49 minutes, I did a 1:51.47, and then I said, I'm gonna get out, shut our Factor 2 down, restart our Factor 2, get back in, and I had only time to do 1 shot, and I blew the engine on the second lap.
Wow.
The turbo engine, right?
No, the Matra in the.
You actually blew it somehow? Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
that's actually, yeah. Nice.
I'm impressed.
So the turbo car is supposed to get the pole positions like this because realistically it would, but now he has to take 100, 240, 260 liters of fuel. So he's gonna have fun at the start of the race when you have the, the really spirited Cosworth with like one third less fuel,
I was gonna let everyone pass just to practice the car, but now that you're saying this, never mind.
Yeah, you gotta be really slow in turning. It's gonna be like absolute truck. It's like turbo engine truck, like Tolman was said to be. It's gonna handle like absolute garbage.
Daniel's
Why
gonna
does
take
he
it
laugh
anyway.
after he says it? That's not funny.
Oh
A little
man.
funny.
So he might be 15 kilometers per hour faster on straights, but when he gets into a corner, he's gonna go real slow. So you can just hand on his real win.
I was doing the calculations for boost 5. Now I still don't think I'm gonna make it, so I'm just gonna set it at boost 4 and see what happens in this race. And
How much did you use per lap? Of course, the quali engine uses more fuel than this one.
let's see. Hold on.
You just need to know how many fuel you use per lap, and that's it. I know it from that. Of course, you can monitor it if you have the fuel calculation UI on the game. You can monitor it per lap and basically calculate it off of that. So if you use like boost 6, boost 5, and you see you use about 10 liters per lap, you can just fill the whole car and see what happens.
Yeah, I was using about 10.4 liters per lap.
Yep. So it's gonna be 22 lap race. So that means that you need about 260 liters probably on that boost.
Okay.
Does the word Valdez mean anything to you?
Valdez. Valdez.
Nice going, Brooks, with the MA car though, and Kirby also.
Yeah, nice going.
Exxon Valdez.
I was expecting the qualifying to be more of a turbo affair than it turned out to be honest. Like only 2 seconds. In real life, that was like 4 seconds faster than the real NA cars, and it has the same horsepower as the real cars have. How did the qualifying tires feel and the engines?
Very
all
much
fine.
like you said.
They are paper and butter all together.
Super sticky.
They don't last long.
Yep.
But they're smooth on the right lap.
Yeah.
So turbo cars, I would recommend probably filling up the whole tank and then just managing boost on the whole race. That's it.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I think NAs have to actually be filled as well.
Not entirely, of course. But if you can do lap in the warm-up, you probably should, and take the full calculations and calculate it with a calculator and then get the number and calculate it off of that.
Conservative lap ran 27.4. So, yeah, I guess you could chop it back a little bit.
27 liters per lap.
27 laps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That would be a hell of an engine.
Yeah.
You might have a hole in your tank.
I enjoy seeing the cars. This is actually the fulfillment of all that work that I had to put on this. It's probably over 1 to 2,000 hours. It's taken all my life for the last 1.5 years. But now I see it being driven. Finally. Still stuff to work on it, of course, but seems to drive just fine. Nobody has died yet.
I would
Do
imagine.
you feel like God watching your children?
Yes. I do actually.
Well, I'm sorry, I can't help out. I've ran about 5 laps total in this, so I'm still trying to
Don't
figure
worry.
out where the car goes.
Not quite the cars of Monaco Grand Prix on the Sega Genesis, but
Super Monaco GP, exactly. I actually did hold the world record at one point, and I still hold the second or third place for that in speedrunning. Surprisingly.
official.
Yeah, official, yes, I do. I used to hold the world record between like 2016 to 2019, wholly myself for the any percent.
No. So it does not want to hold that.
I don't know what tire is gonna be the best for this track. It's either gonna be the soft or the soft might do on this track, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's too weary. I'm not sure myself.
Yeah, that's a good question. We're gonna let warm up run out while we're messing with
Yep.
our stuff here.
Yeah, we can just get the warm up to be a little bit longer, I think.
No. Longer than 10 minutes?
Yeah, in my series, I'm actually gonna be having 15 minutes. Oh, by the way, about the series, can you actually do a broadcast for that? Because I can't really do that myself. I can maybe host a server for the practice server, and that's it. But help me with that.
Yes, it will cost you though.
What it will cost? Everything!
I'm going to need 1 pierogi an hour.
Yep.
I can take it cumulatively at the end of the year.
Pierogi?
Yeah.
What's that?
Never had a pierogi?
No?
It's a Polish thing.
I'm not Polish, I'm Finnish!
You're close enough to them.
No!
Not as a people, I just mean geographically.
I'm literally like an ocean away. The Baltic Sea. It's between us.
That's okay. I thought a pierogi was Italian.
A pierogi. It is not Italian. Pretty sure Italians just spit on their pierogies.
Yep.
No, it's a little bit of dough and some potato inside with some sour cream and chive. That would be delicious. Well, I thought I remember reading that Europeans aren't too big into sour cream.
Yep. So Johnny, are you feeling the weight of the fuel already?
Yeah, it feels a lot heavier and understeers a lot more.
Yep.
But it's fun.
Yep, it will get lighter if you use the one tactic on these engines would probably to use high boost at the start of the race and then turn it down at the end, just to try to get the car a little bit lighter and let it go faster, depending of course of how much fuel you have.
Okay. Okay.
And basically, I would recommend probably using the turbo that you have to defend. If an NA car is gonna try to pass you on a straight, just turn up the boost and just keep doing that. So you can, because they can't actually, the NA car is slow enough that even if it's on the slipstream, it can pass you on that boost level 6. Simulating in real life that the turbo has the extra power, but keep in mind that also takes a hit on your fuel consumption and engine life. So you might blow your engine if you overdo it.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just turn down my RPMs a little bit more.
Yeah, just keep the RPM. So basically, when the shift light comes on, shift immediately. And that's it. That should keep it mostly safe for the 8-car race.
How do I cut the parachute that's on the back of my car holding me up?
I'll hit it for you.
Appreciate that.
Here for you, buddy.
You might want to reduce the downforce a little bit if it's too slow. Of course, if it's a turbo car, you can use more downforce on it.
No, it's just because I'm slow.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Fell out of the gate.
You.
The session changed.
Yep. Yep. Here we go.
Here we go.
Now.
I'm just hoping for a top 10. That's all.
If you can't get a top 10, you might as well just hang it up, buddy.
Hey, you haven't seen me drive this car yet, have you?
I hope to find out the right way.
Yeah.
No, I don't have many laps in this car, so I'm going to try to stay out of the way.
Yep.
We know you're a fast learner, Brian.
Yep. Just keep it steady and have fun. All that. No need to be too serious about this race. Of course, don't start crashing each other out of the race, but
Naturally, watch for cars bogging down on the start.
Oh yeah, the turbo can bog down, so be a little bit careful. I changed the engine so the turbo engine without the turbo has about 300 horsepower. So keep that in mind. The MA might go much faster from the start than the turbo. And also you might miss-shift when you go with the turbo, so it might stall, so be a little bit careful of that as well.
You can go ahead and drive off.
Yep, you can go drive off.
So we can go single file here for the reconnaissance lap. You guys don't have to worry about going side by side. It'll line you up.
Yeah, you can warm up the tires as you want, like in normal one.
Well, MNRLs we don't.
You can warm it up here. It's pretty cold.
Yeah, and the brakes as well. It's actually, is it still like 15 degrees or something like
that? It is. It's kind of chilly.
Yep. The tires will take about 1 to 3 laps to warm up. So be careful. In the first lap, be really careful when you go with the car if you have cold tires. You might not make the corners.
Where's Brian? Brian will help me make the corner.
Yep.
Brian will show you how not to make the corner.
I'll watch for you. I can see everybody's name tag. Gilles
Ross, it says you're a nah pro.
Nah, pro.
Nah, pro.
Gilles, what?
Your car looks like it's straight out of Back to the Future. Sparks everywhere.
Yes. Are you running it low?
No.
Oh yeah, it's probably because you have heavy fuel, and that's why it's sparked. The car actually does spark more at the start of the race than later because it has heavy fuel.
So
I think
if an
finally
Ameri-
the Alpha. Yeah, keep on going. Say.
I was gonna say if an American drives it, then it'll spark the whole way.
At least we have an Alfa Romeo V8. That engine was always not that good of an engine. It was always a bad engine, but at least we now can hear it in all of its glory. It was known to be extremely fuel thirsty back in the day.
I like that you provided all these options so that way you can kind of do your own erector set in Formula One.
Yeah. I figured it would be fun. Like if you remember the Chief mod, I decided it would be fun to do because you can make a car for yourself and enjoy the mod.
Right, but it's a little bit more technical around the engines of the era, which were probably right alongside the ground effects in terms of importance to the overall performance of the car.
You know what, guys? I forgot what side I started on. Left or right, or
On the
will
left,
it
it'll show you. It's got an arrow when it comes up.
Yeah, it
You'll
will
be
show
all-
you. Remember, if you have to pit, remember the pit limit, and of course, remember to look at your guys' corners in the pit crew if you have to pit.
Might have rain. I'm not sure. We'll have to see if the weather app actually updated.
Yep.
Should have.
Looks like Mr. Blue Sky right now.
Yeah. That's the moon since it's nighttime
It's
over there.
3. It's over 3. It's almost 4 a.m. in Germany. Okay, have fun.
Thank you much.
She blew up.
Already?
Already. Freaking Ferrari.
Well, at least that's historically accurate.
Yep.
Well, I learned a lot in 3 laps. Appreciate it.
What happened?
She blew up.
Did you over rev it?
Nope. And I was running about 4 on the turbo.
Did you downshift too hard and over rev the engine? Because it can die from that.
Well, if it was anything, it could have been that, but I wasn't doing anything different I've done before. It was a little hard coming over the curb, but I don't see how that would hurt.
Yep.
Sorry, man.
Hey, nothing lost. I gained more than I lost. Appreciate it. All the information I got from you guys.
Yeah, I think I blew it up during my quali when I overrode the rumble strip and it over revved up.
I've actually had difficulty rolling the engine myself, surprisingly.
Well, if you need a lesson, I can give you one.
Yep. Well, I just need the Motec file when you have it, so I can see what you did to the engine, because that should tell me. I can plug it into the Motec and see what it did.
I was downshifting to come into the tight chicane and came over the curb, and once it came over the curb, it went. So I assume that was it.
Oh yeah, it over rev like before.
You guys have a good one.
See you, Brian.
Okay, Brian.
So it was at 4.7 liters per lap when I was practicing. Now it's at 9 liters, so I'm not finishing the race.
Wait, whoa. What?
Yeah, it didn't register.
You didn't fill it up all the way?
No, it's using double what it's my calculation. Lap 16, I'm out of here.
Time to do some lift and coast, I think.
Impossible.
How much fuel did you put it into the engine at the start of the pin?
169, 160.
What?
I think it's what engine you have, Cosworth, Alpha, or the Matra?
The Matra.
Oh, you should have put in 225 liters, I think.
I know.
Yep. That's your problem.
I'm surprised it would have said that. It's weird.
Yeah, surprisingly.
All right, guys. My engine's on fire.
Oh, it blew off at the halfway
Holy
point.
moly,
What
you got a
boost did
fire
you?
back here.
What boost level did you use?
I was at boost 5.
I saw you over revving the engine. You should have shifted the 18 entirely when the shift light comes on. So that means that if you mismanage the engine, it will blow at the halfway point.
Yeah.
You did exactly what. But that's a good test. I know now that the engine is fragile, so you have to babysit it.
And I missed a few shifts as well, a lot of shifts. So yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna blow the engine. It's expected. Was it actually going faster? I was seeing that you were not catching Kirby at some point, but you were able to keep Brooks behind.
Well, catching Kirby isn't exactly like something you do.
But it was
So how
fun,
did the
guys.
car go? How did the car go when it started to become lighter with Phil? What happened to it? Did it start to become faster?
Yeah, I noticed it started to become faster. The tires were sliding around a little bit, but overall, the car was starting to catch speed.
Yep. Yeah, it will. So basically, the turbo car will at the end of the race be the fastest car, but it takes time for that.
I was gonna let Brett catch up just to practice with him, but never mind.
Yep. So I know that the turbo engine is probably really fragile now. I have 2 engine blowouts. Off it.
That's good. 1 lap less.
Is Jerry Hamilton, is he running a turbo?
Don't think so.
Jerry is running a turbo, yes. It's the last turbo.
You're the last of your people, Jerry.
Yes. I mean, it blew at the halfway point, exactly like in real life. It would either last the halfway or the entire race.
Fucking miss shifts.
I guess I have to drive the turbo myself to establish the engine life when it comes to that full time.
Crew chief was just like, we got cold brakes all around. I know I'm not using them.
When he's going to complain that you're going to run out of fuel.
Probably has been since lap 2.
Well, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. Costco's still open, so I need to go shop really quick. So good luck, guys, and thank you, Christo,
Thank you.
for the help.
Yep. You're okay. I will analyze the data you get on them. Get on there. Thank you for driving the cars. Hope you had fun, even if the engine blew out. But it blew out nicely.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Thank you for this.
Yep. Yeah, you're welcome. Hope to see you racing.
For sure, guys.
I think that's the last turbo engine gone.
Nope, Jerry.
Yeah, barbecue time.
Did Jerry blow up?
Yep.
Yeah, he's parked on the side just after the far chicane.
Oh.
Hey, I'm gonna make good points. But that's 220, not braking for the last chicane.
Wow.
I get out of it just under 210.
I saw, Gios, that you were redlining the engine and not shifting when the shift light came up. I think that blew your engine. Because you have to shift at the shift light, or otherwise the engine is not gonna make it.
I had started on soft.
Did the soft tire last the entire race almost?
Well,
Yeah,
I'm not really using them now. I'm not braking. I'm still almost doing the corner at the same speed, but I'm at 85, 89.
Yeah, they'll last the race.
And this track doesn't really wear tires anyway. And it's cold, so the tires don't wear that much either. If it would be like colder, it would wear more.
Yeah, Jerry, it's not going to necessarily make the engine hot, but it's going to calculate the wear based off of where certain RPMs hit, and it's basically going to pull from that engine health bank. The turbos, it looks like, might be slightly a little too fragile.
If you can probably set up me another Hockenheim and let me race that race in half distance at some point, or full distance, I can take that and check the engine life. I did see people doing exactly what would blow the engine, so overrunning the engine and not shifting early enough. Because I calculated the engine based on that if you shift at the shift light immediately and then keep doing it, instead of taking it to the whole red light when it crackles, that will blow it. Yes.
Using my slipstream, Gilles.
No, it was I have to stop at 10,000 RPM, 200 kph, 210 kph.
That reminds me of what I used to do in the Mexico 1991 sports cars. I had to feather the throttle and pedal it myself to make it into the end. I was lift and coast in the half of the race, basically. You almost died there, Ross.
It's a bit bumpy.
That would do it.
You died?
No, in the chat, Jerry posted that during quali he set it to max boost, and during the race he forgot to remove it, so he ran at.
Oh, so he ran it at like with 600 horsepower instead of that.
Hey, 2 laps less to do. So that's the last lap then?
I think so.
No.
No. Yep, just keep going. And that's all. Oh! You lost the sideboard.
Slightly.
It will be okay if you repair it.
What the hell is this rig shaking against? Lord. Well,
Oh, funny. I was able to figure out that I don't have enough coast or preload.
Ah, that's good. Seems like the turbo cars, I really need to. I should have driven a turbo car myself to establish the tin myself.
Yep. Yeah, well, Jerry blew up because he used qualifying. I think Dan blew up because he went over the rumble strip with power on, so he over rev. Well, the rear so we're in the air.
Yep. And I think Gutierrez
What-
blew up because he did over rev the engine. I did see him over revving the engine.
Yeah. So yeah, they in real life they probably did what in real life they would do, but the idea it's a game, so we need to have fun also.
Yep. The engine can be managed, of course. I think it's a little bit short on the leash, but this is an engine destroyer track in the first place. So it was a test exactly for that, to see what happens to the engine.
yeah. I think in that respect, it is pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good that everything kind of was in the ballpark. The cars seemed competitive in the way that you were designing them to be. They were. I mean, I think that as time goes on and people start playing with some of the differences between the different types of combinations of things, some of the nuance and benefits might be more revealed as where
I agree
certain
with
things.
that.
Mhm.
There is a lot to play with.
It's yeah, and
Yep, so Kirby, right?
That was Brett.
But yeah, pretty fun to play. Yeah. Fun
Yeah,
to
I
drive.
thought yeah, it was cool.
yeah, they're a hoot. They're a hoot. They're a big thing to manage, as they're even if they're old cars, they're like really advanced for old cars. That's what they
It was
are.
a transition period in that sense, actually.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good learning all around. How about Daniel? Did he have anything to say?
No, he doesn't. He just
He
wins.
just wins and leaves, huh?
Yeah.
Well, he
Well,
obviously had it figured out pretty good. He's got good skills.
yeah.
I'd like to see him in a turbo.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I
We
thought
maybe
that
should
was a
put him in the
turbo.
turbo.
No,
No,
he's
it
been
was
in
an
it.
A.
Oh,
He-
really? Wow, that makes me feel less.
no, but the idea is that at the beginning, I was taking care of the tires because I wasn't sure if the soft were going to go away at.
They,
The softs last really good.
yeah, I would say that on a curvier track, I think you'd wear them down a lot more, but here you just weren't putting enough pressure on them. There wasn't enough real downforce.
Yeah,
Highs and lows, but the highs weren't even that high.
and they were real short.
So it's
On the next track, they will basically eat those softs for breakfast. The next track, the Jaguar Parkway. It's intentionally. That's really twisty track with high downforce, so it's gonna eat the tires.
Okay, that's good.
You guys even have the sparks are even animated well. I mean, every time I get behind Johnny, I notice the sparks flying everywhere.
I didn't see anybody